Hello friends, this is Deepa Shah from ThinkQuotient. Today we are going to see string, and we are also going to see the methods and functions that are available for working with string. So basically now string is in Python is we can represent it, we can specify it in double quotes. So I can write over here in I love Java. So it can be a single quote or it could be double quotes. So in Python we can enclose string either in single quote or in double quotes. Both is perfectly fine over here. So writing this way is also perfectly fine, and writing in double quotes is also fine, perfectly fine. Okay, so now if you want to have a multi-line string, okay, so how we do is we can use triple times double quotes over here this way, and now whatever you want over here, so whatever string you want to specify over here this way, and then I press enter over here, one more over here this way. So now this is, if I go and check, I just press enter over here and I check as this is perfectly fine. So if you have a multi-line string, it should be enclosed in triple quotes or triple double quotes or triple single quotes is also fine. So if I write this way and then if I specify over here this way some string, and then I specify over here this way, this is also perfectly fine. So you can either use triple double quotes or triple single quotes to represent multi-line string. Now we have already seen different operators which we can perform numeric operations on numeric data. Now for strings we have two operators that can be applied on string, that is plus and star. Okay, so we have already seen many operators, and most of the operators we apply on numeric operands, but in this we are going to see two operators which we can apply on string, and those operators are plus and star. Okay, so we are going to see plus and star. Now when you want to do concatenation, we will use plus operator. So the plus operator concatenates the string and it will return a string which will be concatenation of the two. It means what? Suppose I have written over here s1 is equal to Python, and over here on down below I have written s2 is equal to, suppose I have written over here Java something. Now if down below I write s1 plus s2, so what we will see is we will see a new string object created with Python Java together. Okay, so plus operator is used to do concatenation. It is basically going to join the two strings and give you a new string over here. So plus operator concatenates two string. And what does star operator do? So if I use this way now, suppose I have something over here Python, suppose, and I write over here star, and then I write over here suppose a integer 8. So when you have a string, a star operator and 8, now what it is going to do over here is it is going to create over here multiple copies of the given string. So as I have written 8, so now it is going to create 8 copies of Python. So if you see, it has multiplied by 8 and created over here 8 copies. So star operator creates multiple copies of the given string. So you can write anyhow, you can write 8 into, this way is also right over here. So if you write 8 into Python, that is also perfectly right. So this is also going to produce the same result. So star operator is used for replication, we can say replication operator, and plus operator is concatenation operator. So these are the two operators which we can use in string. Okay, now moving ahead, string is basically we can say collection of characters. Okay, so the characters which are present inside string, which we can access these characters by index. Okay, so it basically string is nothing but sequence of characters. So if I have a string this way, I have written, okay, this is my string over here. So now we can access the characters. So this p, the position of p over here is 0, y is 1, t is 2, accordingly h is 3, and that way it goes on. So over here, if you want to access, or if you want individual characters in a string to be accessed, we can access those by specifying the string name, followed in square bracket we are going to specify the index number. It means like that, suppose this is my string over here. If I say from s, square bracket, and in square bracket we are going to specify the index over here. So when you say s in square bracket 0, it is going to give me 0th location character. If I say 1, it is going to give me 1th location character. If I say 3, it is going to give me 3rd location character. So if you want to get or extract, or we can say access individual characters, we can do that by indexing. So you give the index number in square bracket and you will get the respective position over here. Now one more thing which we have in Python is basically so I'll show over here. We have over here is in Python. So if you take an example over here, okay, so internally if you see over here, this is a square bracket over here, so the characters are stored somewhere like that. So suppose I have P over here, then in this next block I have Y, in next block I have T, and this block I have H, then in the next block I have is 0, O, and then O over here. So the whole Python word is stored this way. And now the index of first location we have seen, it is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4 over here, and the last index is 5 over here. Okay, now in Python, or we can say for many things in indexing, we have positive indexing and we also have negative indexing. So we have both thing over here. So we have positive and negative indexes in string. So the index, it starts this way. So the last character index is -1. Over here the index of O is -2. Over here the index of this is -3. T is -4. This is -5. And this is -6. So if you look carefully in Python, we have positive and negative indexing both over here. So if you want to extract suppose P, so you can say suppose this is the variable which is pointing out to an object. So if you say s of 0, that is also going to give you what over here is P, or even if you say over here s of -6, okay, that is also going to give you what P. So in Python we have both positive and negative indexing. So if you say s of 0 or you say s of 6, in both cases you are going to get the character P over here. If I want to get the last character, I can say s of 5 or s of -1. The position, if the negative index for the last character will always start with -1. So you can either specify -1 or you can say 5 over here. Both will give you the last location character over here. So if I want to get the last location character, I can say s of -1 over here. You will see I'll get n over here. Okay, so you have positive indexing, you have negative indexing. So if I say s and give me square bracket -2 over here, it will give you this was -1 and this is -2, so you got over here O. So positive and negative indices both is supported over here. You can extract you either using by positive index or negative index, it will give you the same thing. Now one more thing is, in Python interpreter we have many built-in functions. One of the function is len. Len will give you the length of the given sequence. So if I pass length and I pass over here s, okay, so the length of s it is going to give me is 6. So 6, if you see over here Python word, if you see length will give you the actual length, that is 6 over here. So if I want to get last character, I can also say is s in square bracket length of s, okay, length of s, that gives me the actual length. But if we see, the indexing always starts with 0, so this will also give me the last character. So as we have already seen, as we are starting with 0, the last character position is 5, but length function will always give you 6 over here, and as 6 is the actual length, so we will say 6 minus 1, and that is 5 it you will get. So length is a function which gives you the length of your sequence. So string is a sequence we have. So if you want to, if you don't know the string you have taken from user, suppose we are taking some string from user this way, and then if I ask you get me the last character from the string which is being entered, suppose I say enter name. Now you don't know what is the name, so what we can say over here is print, and we can say over here is s. One way is you can say -1 directly, because we know the position of last character is -1, or we can write over here is length of s, whatever is the length of this, 1 minus that, because length gives you the actual length. Both will give you the same answer over here. So if I enter over here is, suppose the name as what, suppose I enter the name as Sujay. So you will see over here the last character we got over here is y. So you write -1 over here, or you write over here s, length of s, that is length of s over here. Both functions, length -1 you give over here, and then I write some name over here. Suppose I write the same name over here, Sujay. Then also you will see you will get the last character. So in Python, both indexes are supported, positive and negative. Positive index will always start with 0. Okay, 0. So accordingly it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for negative indexing, the last, index of last character will be -1. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5 and -6, accordingly it will go. Okay, now strings are also immutable. We have already seen, so I'll just show you. If I write over here s is equal to something, I write over here is Python. Okay, and now if I write over here, suppose I try to change the data. Suppose I say over here s of 0 is equal to, I write over here is, suppose Zython. Suppose I write s of 0, make it to j. Now if I hit enter, it is going to give me what error. What error we can see over here is it does not support item assignment. Why? Because this is immutable. As it is immutable, you can't go and change any character over there or delete any character from there, because string is immutable. So now if I write like this something, so that's what we are saying. String is immutable. Why we are saying is because once the data is assigned, you can't change it. So if you try to update, modify or delete any character from there, it's not possible. So string is immutable over here. So it's showing an error that it does not support item assignment. Okay, now the next thing which we have over here, the most important thing over here we have is slicing. Okay, we have a most important thing over here is slicing. Now slicing basically is to extract a substring from a string, basically we can say, or the way we say a slice of bread or a slice of apple. So from a whole apple, if you want a single part, we say slicing. Similarly in Python, if there is some string, and from that string if you want to extract a substring, then we will use what over here is slicing, string size slicing. This thing is known as what, string slicing. Okay, so substring, extracting a substring from a main string is called as what, slicing. So from a main string, if I want to remove something this way, see, if I have this way, is this is the word over here. Now if I want to extract, only I want to extract is what, THON. Suppose I want to extract, so I can do this. See, if I want to extract a single character, I can use index method. But if I want to extract a substring, that is more than one character at a time, then we can go for slicing. So how slicing will work over here is, suppose I want to remove what over here, th. Suppose I want to remove tho. Now if you want to remove tho, what we should do is, how we will apply slicing over here. Now I'll put over here, suppose I want to extract which characters I told you, t, h and o. So we will use over here square s. Okay, in square bracket. Okay, square bracket, this is, we are going to put over here is colon. Okay, colon we are going to put over here, and before colon, what is the start value and what is the value you want to cut from. So this is my start value over here, and where you want to stop, one extra position we are going to give over here. Means what, if I want to extract THO, so for slicing, what is the index I will give over here is, I'll just specify over here. So we will specify 2 positions over here. So I'll just erase this and show you. So we will write over here 2 positions are, what are those 2 positions are, one is, okay, I'll just take brush over here, 1 minute. So what are the 2 positions over here we have is, so what are the 2 positions we will write over here is 0. Sorry, not 0, I'll just take it over here. Okay, what's 2? So if we want to cut from T, we will give the start position over here, and the start position over here is 2. It's too big. So the start position is 2 colon, okay, until where we want to cut it, till O we want to cut. So we will give one extra position 5. So for substring, if it is a substring, what we do over here is we write over here is S, and before colon we specify the start over here from where we want to cut, or the index of that character, and the character one extra index we specify. So whatever till the character which we want to extract, one extra character will specify over here. So the position of P is 0, Y is 1, T is 2, 3, 4. So I am going, and this is the end. So whatever you specify over here, okay, whatever you specify start and end, it is going to give you a substring which will be extracted from the start position whichever you have specified, and end minus 1. Okay, so whatever end you specify, one before that it is going, one position before that it is going to extract over here. So if I write over here, what I write over here is S, okay, square bracket, the start position 0, 1, 2 I specify, colon, and the end position is 2. After 2 I have written 3, 4, 5 I write over here. So now if I press enter over here, you can see it has given me THO. So slicing basically is what we give over here. Slicing basically returns a portion of your string starting with the position you specify over here. So whatever index you specify, it will give you a string starting from that position, and from that position whatever is the end you are given, so from that end excluding one character before that. So if you are specified over here 5, so it will cut till 4 only and give you the substring over here. Okay, so again if I want to show you over here is, suppose I want to extract over here these two characters YT. Okay, I want to extract over here is YT. So what I will do is slicing S square bracket. Now what is the start position of Y? String basically always starts with 0. So I will write over here is 1. Then colon operator. Colon is basically a slice operator over here. Colon, compulsory colon. And after colon, till which we want to cut now? I want to cut YT. So 0, 1 and 2. The position of T is what? 2. So one extra we'll give over here is 3. So when we tell 3, it will cut to 2 till 2 over here. So let's see over here. So what is the thing we got over here is YT. Okay, so slicing basically is used to extract from a given string a portion of a string. So whatever is the start index and end index you specify, it is going to extract all the characters from this range with the range starting with whatever you have specified and excluding one character before the index whichever you have given over here. So now if I write over here this way, S, suppose now I want to extract is PYT, I want to extract, or only PY. So what is the index I will specify over here is starting with 0, because the index of P is 0, 0 colon, and I want to cut only till Y. So the position of Y, end position is what? The index of Y is what? 1. But we will not write here 1, we will give 1 extra over here. So we'll write 2. When we say 2, it will cut till 1 over here. So you can see we got over here is what? PY. So slicing is used basically to extract a substring from a given string, a slice, or we can say substring from a given string. So you give here the start position and this end position you specify. So it will extract the string from start and end minus 1 whatever you specify, and you get the string over here. Now there are some things we can say over here and we need to note down over here. Now if you don't specify the start position, okay, if you don't specify the start position and you only specify the end over here, so if I write 0, 3, okay, if I say 0, if I don't specify the start over here, I just put square bracket and only colon. I am not writing the before colon, I don't specify the start, and I only specify the end value over here. So by default the start will be taken over here as what? 0. So if you don't specify the start index, by default it will cut from 0th position Okay, so now you can see from 0th position, that is from P till 2, because you have specified over here 3 index, so it will always stop one previous over here. So when you say 3, it will go till 2 over here. So 0 to 2 is 0, 1, 2. So P by T it will give you in output over here. Yes. So in slicing, if these parameters are optional, so if you don't pass start, it will take it as by default 0. So if I write over here suppose as 4, so now it will cut till 3 over here. So you can see we got PY 0, 1, 2, 3 till 3 it has cut. Similarly, we also have the end part. So if I write over here 0 colon, or I write over here 2 colon, so I am not specifying where it has to end. So if you don't specify the end over here, by default the end is the end of the string over here. So if you don't specify with the last index where the end part over here, so if you don't specify end, by default it will take the end as end of the string. Okay, so length of the string basically it will take as. So now if you see till end, THON, everything from second position, that is if you see the word Python, in Python from second position onwards till the end of string, so from second position onwards from here till end. So by default if you don't pass this argument over here, the last argument, so end part if you don't specify, it will take over there as length of string, and length of string is, it gives you the actual length. So when you give actual length, it will stop one character previous over there. So if you take the length of string, it is 6. So by default it will internally does is what over here, it will do length of S over here. So when you give length of S gives you the actual length, so it will stop one previous over here. So slicing basically means what? See, slicing, what is the syntax for slicing is, we write S start, okay, colon and end. So whatever end you specify over here, end जो भी हम देते हैं उसके एक कैरेक्टर पहले वो स्टॉप होने वाला है. So whatever you specify end, one character previous of that index, it will give you, cut the string and give you. Then the second thing about this is that if you don't specify the start index over here, if you omit the start index over here this way, you don't specify and you only specify end, so by default the start taken over here is what? Start is by default set to 0, sorry. Start is by default set to what? 0. So if you don't specify the start index, it will take it as 0, and whatever end you specify, one character previous of that index, it will stop and give you over here. Also, this is also optional. So if I don't write over here, if I write over here suppose 2 or 1, whatever I write over here, and I don't specify the end over here, so if you don't specify end, so by default the end is taken as what over here? The length of string, and the length of string basically is the whole string. So from 1 till the end of string, it will extract all the characters and give you the string. So these are the different ways you can apply slicing. So you can give start and end, or only end, or you can specify only start and you can just omit end. So these are the different ways we can do it. Now, do we have negative indexing in slicing? Yes, we can have that also. Now before that, one more thing I would like to say is, by default, see, in slicing we have 3 parameters over here. One is start, okay, one is end, and after one more colon we have over here, and that specifies the step over here. Okay, step. So now what does this mean? That whenever you are working with string, okay, whenever you are working with string, so now if I want to show you the example how we implement, what does this mean? Now if I just comment out first of all this, okay, now if you specify this third parameter over here, that is step, this is optional over here, and by default it is 1. Okay, now if you specify the step, okay, step basically means is how, by what we can say it, so how much steps it is going to take, means what? See, if this is my word over here, S is equal to, suppose I write the word over here is something is, suppose I write the word is Python, okay, and now if I press enter over here and I write S colon, and I write over here 1 colon 5 suppose, okay, and colon I write over here 2. Now what does this mean? 1 is the start index, 5 is the end index over here, and colon 2. So if I just take this over here, control C, let me see, and I just paste it over here. No, I just write over here S. Suppose I have written S. Okay, what I have written over here is S 1 colon 5 colon, and I have written over here 2. So what does this mean? This means is starting with first position over here. So this is my first position over here. Yes, this is my first position over here. So it will start from here. So it will give you the first character over here is Y. Okay, first position. After that, the step over here is 2. 2 means it will take every second character from the starting index. So every second character means this character, then this it will leave out, and plus 2 means 1 plus 2 is what over here is 3. So now you will have, so after 1 it will take the next character which it will take over here in slicing is H. Okay, and after 3 plus 2 is 5, but it goes out of bound because you have said when you say 1 comma 5 it will start cutting from, it will take the characters from which index to which index. It will take from 1 to, when you say 5 it will go till what, 4 over here. Okay, so it will extract from 1 to 4 over here. So this is 1 and this is 4, and you have given over here is step is 2. Now what is step basically means is every 2 characters. So means the step value, it will every time the character which has to be taken over here is second character. So plus 2 it will do from the indexes. So this initial index was 1 plus 2 is 3, so it will take H, and after that it will check 3 plus 2 is 5, that is out of range, so it will only give you the output as YH. So if we see over here, if I run this, I have written this. So if we run this, you can see it has taken the first 1 position character. First this will start with this, so the starting character, and after the starting character plus 2. So the index over here was 1 plus 2 is what now, 3 means it will leave this, every alternate character it will take, and then H, and after H you have told only till 5. So only till 5 means it will stop over here itself because the next character over here is O. So in slice operator you have after 3 colon, you can have over here this optional parameter called as step. This is optional. If you want to give, you can give, otherwise you can leave off. By default the optional step value is 1. By default, see, if I write over here S is equal to, I write S and I specify over here 1 comma, I specify over here is colon, and I specify over here 4 and colon 1. It means what? Every time do stepping by what? 1, increment by 1. So initially the index was pointing at first, the index, the start value we have given is 1. So 1 means it will extract 1 Y, and after Y is extracted, the position of Y was what? Index was 1 plus 1, it will make it what? The step value. Step means what? The way we have in for loop, for I equals to 1, I is less than equal to 5, I plus plus means what? After the updation, for updation it will always increment by 1. So similarly after extracting the character, the next character to be extracted is increment by 1, so it will remove, then is what over here is T, then H, and then it will stop. So by default if you don't specify anything, the step value is 1. Step means how many characters it will take, how basically it means is the step means how much it has to increment the index by. Okay, while extracting, how it has to increment the index by. So if you, by default if you don't specify anything, it is always incrementing by 1, so you're getting after Y. So if I write only this much, 1 colon Y over here, so you can see it will give you what, from 1 to 3. So if I have written a string this way, now suppose I have written over here Deepa, okay, and now if I write over here S and I write over here 1 colon 4. So 1 colon 4 means it will extract E and P over here. Why? 0, 1, 2, 3. When you say 4, it will extract 3. So the data we get over here is EEP. Why EEP? Because by default the step was 1. So the index was pointing at 1 position. After 1 plus 1 will make it 2. After that plus 1 will make it 3. And after plus 3 the value is it's done, because till when we specify 4, this slice operator will extract only till 3. Now we also have an option, instead of writing in step by 1, we can specify step by what, 2. So now we are telling, give me it will start with 1. 1 means it will extract E. After extracting E, that is the position of E was what, 1, it will increment the start, that which was 1. 1 plus 2, that is what now, 3. So directly it will give me P. This, the E we have over here, this second E we have, this will not be printed. So the slice operator, while extracting the characters, it will only extract over here is E and P. So if I run and show you over here, it is EP. Okay, so slice operator has got 3 parameters we can pass over here. This is my start value, this is my end value, and this is the step. So step basically means is whenever you are telling slice means you are asking for a substring. Now in that substring also, if you want that I want only alternate characters from that, so you can specify step 2, step 3, accordingly you can specify. Suppose I give a string over here this way, S is equal to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, I write over here. Okay, and now what I do over here is I say S of 0 colon length of string. Okay, so even if I don't write this, okay, everyone, one more thing, even if I don't specify, I told you, if you don't specify the start value, it will take at 0. If you don't specify the end value, it will take till the end of string. And now I write over here 2. Now when I say 2, it means what it is going to do is, it is going to give me alternate characters. So first it will, the start index is 0, so it will give me 0th position character, and directly it will jump to 0 plus 2 is C. After C it will go to E, after E to G, and after G to I. So every alternate character it will give me. So you can see it has given me in output a substring which is not having all the values in between. Every second character, so from that substring whichever you get, every second character it is giving you over here. So A, C, E, G, I. Okay, and here if you see before colon I have not specified anything because if you don't specify anything, the start value it will consider as 0. If you don't specify the end value, because before first colon, whenever you write this colon, before colon you need to specify start, after colon you need to specify end. So if you are not specifying start, by default it will take as 0. If you don't specify end, by default it will take the length of string, and if you don't specify slice also, it will take it as what, 1. So if simply I write this way, you will get the whole string over here because it is incrementing by 1111 character over there. Okay, now can we have negative index in slicing? Yes, we can have. So suppose I write over here is S is equal to, I take a word over here, some other word I will take over here is, suppose we take a word over here is okay, we take the word Python itself. Okay, Python over here, and now I press enter over here. Now if I say S, okay, square bracket, I am starting from, now we know the indexes over here. So this is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. So if I give over here -6 colon, okay, -6 colon, so if we have already seen that P, the position of P is either we can address it by 0 also, or we can say -6 also. So if I say -6 to -3 over here, okay, if I say -6 to -3, or if I say -6 to -2, suppose I say till -2, so let us check what we will get. So if I say -6 to -2, now if I don't specify the step parameter, it is by default +1. So -6 plus 1 will make it -5. -5 plus 1 will make it what? Minus. So what is happening in background is, what is the operation being performed over here is, every time it is doing, first it will give you the -6th character. Second time it will extract which character over here, so it will do +1 over here. So +1 means what you will get over here is -6. The initial index start value was -6, so -6 plus 1, so negative positive, you will get the value as what? -5. So it will give you -5 character. Similarly -5 plus 1 will give you -4, -4 plus 1 will give you -3, -3 plus 1 will give you -2. So it will stop now, it will not print -2 character over here. Okay, so by default always remember the step value, if you don't specify, it is always +1. So accordingly now we are extracting from -6 to -2. Now if I write this way, what I write over here? Reverse. I write first -2 and then I write over here is -6. So I am trying to go backwards now. I want to extract this way now. What I want to extract over here is, I want to start from here. Okay, I want to start from here, and accordingly I want to go backward over here. So I want O, then I want T, and then I want H, and the whole Python word I want over here. So if you see over here, -1, it is the start position is -2 I have given over here. Suppose I don't specify, I've given -6. Okay, I've given here -6, so it will stop at -5. Okay, so -2, from -2, if I want backward, see, -2, then if I want to make it -3, so -2, how -2 can become -3? So if -2 -1 will make it what over here? -3. So now we have to specify. See, in maths what we do say is, suppose I have a variable. Suppose I have a variable in which I have -2. Now if I ask you, I want to make the value of A as -3, what you will do? So definitely what we will do is, A is equal to A, and what I'll write over here? -1 over here. Okay, so when you write this over here, what will happen is, -2 -1 will make it -3 accordingly. So it will reach gradually, one time will come that this value will reach till 6 over here. So over here I need to specify the step operator over here as now -1. Okay, the way I told you, step can be positive, so step can also be negative over here. So if we write this, so what we got is, it has started backwards. Okay, so -2 is this position over here. Okay, so -2 is O over here, this is -1, -2, so it extracted first -2, after that it became -3, so H, then -4, and then -5, as you have written -6. Okay, as you have written over here -6, it is not going to take -6, it will stop at -5 only. So whenever we are extracting characters, see, we can go backward, forward, both way over here. So see, suppose we take a name over here is, suppose we take a name over here is think quotient. Okay, I take a word over here is think. Okay, I only take think over here, think, or let's take quotient also over here. Okay, so now if I want to print the string over here is quotient. So suppose I want to print over here is what? Okay, if I want to print over here the word quotient, only quotient, and that also in reverse order. Okay, so if I want to print in reverse order, one way I could write over here is S. Then I can start with backward, so I can write over here length of S. Okay, length of S over here, -1 I need to specify. Okay, length of S -1, this is my start value. Where I have to stop over here is, so if you take the word think quotient, so if you take the word think quotient over here, I'll just take a new thing over here. So if I take the word over here is, suppose we draw a block over here, it's a big block now for think quotient. So this is my block over here, and in this block if we put the word think quotient, so this will be my T, this will be my H, then we will have I, then we will have N, then we will have K, and accordingly we will have over here is O, Q, U, O, T, I, E, N over here, and one more we have over here is what? T. Okay, I don't have a space over here, so this is the word over here. So the position indexing will go over here is, this will start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the start value over here is 5, quotient Q 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, this is 11 over here, and last T is at 12th position. So if I want to print question word, I just want, okay, first we'll see is, if I want to print question word, the start position will be 5 and end position should not be 12, it should be 13. So first we'll check that. Let's go over here. So if I write first, I'll not reverse, first we'll just print question word. So if I give 5 colon, if I don't specify end, then also it will go till end and you got the question word. Okay, now if I want reverse, I don't want question, मुझे question का उल्टा चाहिए. So what we'll write over here is s. We will start backwards. So length of s, okay, minus 1, or you can write directly also. Now I know the length, so I can start with 12 over here, colon, where we have to stop at 5th position. So when you have to stop at 5th position, we'll give 4. When we say 4, one previous it will stop. Now if you look in this diagram, after 12th character we want 11th, after 11th we want 10th, after 10th we want 9th. So from 12 we want to make the index number over here is what? 11. Means gradually we are decreasing. When we start from a bigger number, if the start value is bigger, and then gradually if we are moving towards smaller number, so when we are going from 12 to 4 over here, what we should do is we should write over here is minus 1. If I don't write any step value, by default it is what? Plus 1. If you see, you will not have any output. Okay, so if I want to extract backwards, and backwards what we see over here is we are gradually moving from 12th character backward this way. So from 12 I want to then extract 11, from 11 then 10, from 10 then 9th. So we are decrementing the value, so the index is becoming 12, 11, 10, 9 accordingly. So the step value we have to write is minus 1. Minus means go on decreasing over here. So now if you see, this is exactly reverse of which word we have seen over here is quotient. Okay, so similarly we can also do this with negative indexing also. So if you look at index now, if I go again in the diagram over here, the index will start with minus 1 over here. So the index of t, negative index of t will be over here is minus 1. Then over here for n it would be minus 2, for e it will be minus 3, for this it will be minus 4, for this it will be minus 5, for this it will be minus 6, for this it will be minus 7, and this will be minus 8, and this will be minus 9. Now we want to cut this string quotient word in reverse, so we will start with what? Minus 1, and we want to go till which character? Minus 8 we want to go, but we will specify the extract value as what? Minus 9. Now from, if I want to go, see if there is some variable which has got initial value as minus 1, from minus 1 if I want to do minus 2, so what you should do? You should do plus 1 or minus 1. We should do what over here also is minus 1. So let's do it. We are in negative numbers over here, so let's go over here. So I will write over here is minus 1, sorry, inside over here. So start value is index is negative index I am providing over here minus 1, from minus 1 to minus 9. So the start index I am giving is go backwards. Okay, and minus 2, minus 9, when we say minus 9 it will cut till minus 8 over here, and the step value over here will be negative. So you can see this is also giving me reverse of quotient word, and this is also giving me reverse of quotient word. So always remember, if we are starting with a positive number over here, and from positive gradually if we are going to smaller, then we specify minus 1. Now this is a negative index. Now negative index you have to understand, see minus 1 का हमको minus 2 बनाना है, फिर minus 3 करना है. So negative number में अगर हम minus 1 we will add over there, then minus 1 will become minus 2, minus 2 minus 1 will become minus 3. Gradually it will be this way. Okay, so we can use slice operator. Now if I ask you, I want thing quotient, the whole thing to be reversed. Okay, the whole word to be reversed. So what I'll do, so the start index I will not specify. If I don't specify, it will take 0. End index, if I don't specify, it will take till end. And if I specify over here minus 1, now minus 1 means what? It will take from in reverse direction over here, backwards it will do stepping over here. And if I run over here, you can see it has given me reverse of the word thing quotient. So thing quotient THINK QU, the whole thing quotient word, this whole word is being reversed over here. So colon minus 1, what does this mean is every character is taken backwards over here. Negative minus 1 means take it backwards. Okay, if I write over here instead of minus 1, if I specify over here minus 2, what will happen is backwards it will take every second character. Okay, means what? If the string is thing quotient, now let us run this, I'll show you over here. So you can see it has taken every which character over here is second. It has taken T, then it has taken I, then it has taken, and it has reversed it basically, or the whole thing is reversed over here. So it is taking backwards in reverse direction, it is taking this string and reversing it over here. Okay, so see if I write over here is minus 1, So what it is doing is it's giving me reverse. Think quotient, it is giving me the whole reverse word over here is, which is that word? So it is giving me the whole word, think quotient word, it is giving me reverse order. So the t, this t which we have over here at this position, it is giving me over here first, then the word n, then the word e, and then the whole word over here. Now instead of this, if I write over here this way, that's what I have shown you now before, colon colon and -2. Now means what it is going to do, it is going to go backwards, but it is going to take first t over here, then it will skip this n and it will take e, because -2 means it is doing stepping by backward by -2 positions. So if you see the output over here, what is the output we say is, it has taken this t, then n it has kept this character, then e, again I skip kiya, t liya hai, then again u over here. So this whole string, if you take every alternate character, it has taken over here. Okay, so negative, when you specify over here a negative slice this way, backward, it is going backwards over here. So every every character it will take -1. If you specify, it will go backwards every character, and if you specify 2 over here, every second character is taken from backward. So you can specify positive index, you can specify negative index. The start position could be negative, the end position could be negative. The whole logic is up to you. Okay, so slicing basically is used if you want to extract from a string a subpart, a slice, then you can go for slice operator. The syntax over here is, we write the word is s. Okay, if s, then we specify the start value over here, then end, and if step is optional over here, so step, if we don't specify, it is +1. If you want, you can specify the step also over here. Indexes in for string, we have both positive and negative index. So for slicing also, you can specify positive, negative indexes and accordingly do slicing. Okay, so slice is used, why we use slices? From a string, if you want to extract a substring, from that we can use, go for what over here is slicing over here. Okay, now one more thing I would like to tell is, suppose we want to do now, I want to show you is which value over here is, which program I would like to show you is, just comment out this, it was just to explain you. Okay, now suppose I want to show you is palindrome logic. Okay, so I write a logic over here is, suppose nm is equal to, and I write over here is what, input, enter name or whatever, enter string. Now what is palindrome? Palindrome means original and reverse. If both are same, then we say it's a palindrome. Okay, so if you can take an example, Madam, Nayan, Malayalam, all these strings are what, palindrome over here. So okay, I'll just write a logic over here, I'll just enter some string. Okay, so what we'll write over here is, now we need to check original and reverse are same or not. So how we can do it? If nm is equal to nm square bracket colon colon -1. Now what we are doing over here is, here itself using slice operator, we are getting over here a new string which is reverse of the original string. So this reverse string we can store also, if we want. First we can store and accordingly we can use. I am using here itself directly. So when you write colon colon, so if you don't specify any start value, by default it is 0. If you don't specify any end value, it is till end, and -1 means what, it is going to remove 1 character backwards over here. Okay, so 1 character it is taking backward over here, so -1 over here. So now if I check over here, I'll check print over here is print palindrome. And if I run, because reverse of Nayan and this of Nayan, if I enter over here is Deepa, so it's not. Why? Because Deepa and the original word is APEED over here, APEED. These both are not equal. Double equal to is used to check whether the data is equal or not. So if original and reverse both are same, then we say it's a palindrome, otherwise it's not. Okay. Now one more thing is we can also iterate. Suppose I want to accept a string. Now one more logic will write over here. Suppose I want to find out how many vowels are there inside my given string. So now we can use for loop also. We have already discussed for loop. So for loop, what we write is for element in sequence. Now sequence, we had made use of range function over there. Now instead of range, we can also write, see, string is also a sequence of characters. So if I write over here this way, input, enter, name, and now what I can do over here is I can write a for loop. For, suppose I write over here is I, in, and I write over here is what? The name of my string is nm, colon. Now nm, why I am writing over here is the for loop is basically used to iterate over a sequence. String is also a type of sequence. So if I write this way over here and press enter, and I can check now if what I'll check over here is I, in, I can write over here AEIOU, colon. What we want to do, we want to print count number of vowels. Yes, and just print enter and print. Okay, sorry, my mistake. I'll declare C equals to 0 over here. Okay. So if we execute the logic over here, okay, I wrote C++, my mistake. We don't have this operator in Python. So C equals to C plus 1 or C plus equal to 1. Now, if I enter the name as Deepa, so we will see the number of vowels are 3 over here. Now, I have made use, first of all, what things we have done is we had made use of for loop over here. So if I show you a for loop over here, suppose I write over here for I, in, suppose I write Python word over here directly. It's a string basically. Yes, we can write like this also. And I say print I. So what is happening over here, from this sequence, one character, first P is getting assigned. So this P, the value of I for each item in this sequence. So each means what? Each. So now the value of first time, the value of I will be P, then it will be Y, then it will be T, then H, and accordingly. So if we just print over here, iterate over here this Python string, that is sequence. So you can see the value of I first time it was P, Y, T, H, O, N. Okay. So this is the logic we have worked out. Now what is this if I, in, A, E, I, O, U? Now we had seen that there is one operator called membership operator. Okay, membership operator. What is that membership operator? Is in and not in. Okay, in and not in. So now what we have basically we do is, if I want to check, suppose I want to check whether in Python we have O or not. So what I can do is I can specify O in, and I can write the word over here is Python. So what this is doing in background is it is checking whether this is this string which we have passed is whether member of this or not. If this is a member, if O is present, it will return you true, otherwise it will return you what over here is false. So membership means what? Whether this thing which we are checking over here, this element, is member of this string or not. So if it is present, it will return you false, otherwise not. If I write instead of O over here something which is not present, D I write over here, if you check, it will give me false. So same way what we are doing over here is one character is getting extracted over here. So whatever is the character, we check whether this character is from any of this A, E, I, O, U, any of this. If this is the part of A, E, I, O, U, it will return you true, and if it is true, then we are incrementing the counter over here. If not, it will do nothing. So again the next character will be extracted over here. So from Deepa, E will be extracted. Is E in A, I, O, U? Yes, E is in I, O, U, it will return true. Whenever true, if statement evaluates to true, whatever is written below will be executed. So the counter will increment over here, and accordingly this loop will work out, and after the loop becomes false, after all the characters are done, it will print number of vowels and whatever is the value of C. So one more time, if I run over here and I write something over here as what? Suppose I write over here Sonal. So So the number of vowels in sonal is O and A, that is 2 over here. Okay, so using for loop we have learned that for loop is used to iterate over a sequence. So range gives you sequence of numbers. String is also a sequence of characters, so you can directly write a string name over here and one character will be extracted over here, and then you can apply the logic over here. Okay, so this is one thing. And the next is we have also learned membership operator. So where anything, so if you want to check any object is member of the given sequence or not, so this could be any sequence, it could be list over here, it could be tuple over here. So now the sequence which we have used over here is string, so we are checking over here whether this D is a member of this string or not. If it is, it will return you true, otherwise it will not return you true. So basically this is a membership operator. Okay, so membership operator you can use for all type of sequences. So you can use for list, tuple, string, range, we can use for, or we can use for dict. Okay, so in operator, in basically is which operator? It's a membership operator. Now moving ahead, string also has got some built-in functions. Okay, so it has got some built-in functions like is upper and many things you have. So suppose we want to check now, so we can write S is equal to, suppose I write over here the word Python. Okay, now we'll check one function over here. So what we will do over here is S, okay, and then I write S dot. Okay, so S dot, and I specify over here. So when you press shift, you get a list of functions over here. If I say capitalized, okay, and then I do over here is, you can see the first letter over here. If it was in small case, let me put it in small case this way if it was, and if I rerun it, so you can see capitalized is a function, or we can say this function, what it does is it is converting your first letter, built-in functions. So what it is doing is it is converting your first letter of your string into capital. So suppose I have written Python, and I write over here is data science, suppose. Okay, and just I write the word capitalize. So you can see it has not done with data science, only from the whole string the first alphabet over here, P capitalized function is going to convert over here the first alphabet over here into capital. Okay, similarly we also have a function called title. Okay, S dot title. So now what title will do over here is it will convert every word in your string, whatever words are present, for every word the first initial it will convert it into capital. So you can see Python P is also capital now, and data science D is also capital over here. So every word initial it will turn to capital, whereas capitalized will only turn the first, from the whole sentence only the first sentence start it will turn to capitalize or capital. Okay, similarly we also have got one function called, suppose I write over here S is equal to dot, S dot we have over here is upper. Okay, upper is going to convert your whole string to uppercase. But one thing you note, if I print now also S, it is in lowercase, because string is immutable. So all these functions whichever we are going, they will return a new string which is converted into uppercase, lowercase. So if we store it, then we can see if I store over here in one variable called S1, and now if I run, S1 over here, and now if I check S, it's still in lowercase, but now if I check S1 over here, it's in uppercase. So basically all these functions will return we can say a copy of your original string which is converted into uppercase. So string is immutable, so the original data which is there, that is not going to change. In background it will always create a new string object, and the characters of that previous it will copy the characters and convert it into what? Uppercase. So it will just copy all the characters of this given string on whichever you are calling this function, and convert those into what? Uppercase. So all the functions, functions which are bringing a change will create a copy over here. The original string will remain unmodified. Okay, now further, so you have S dot upper, you have S dot lower similarly. So if I say S1, if I print S1, you can see it's in uppercase. Now if I say S2 is equal to S1 dot lower, if I say, okay, so lower is going to convert it into lowercase. So if I print S2, it's in lowercase. So lower, upper, then title, then capitalize. These four we have studied. Then also we have a thing called swap case. So swap case will okay, let me check the case over here. First of all, everything is in small case. So what I do is I just create a new string over here. Something I'll write in capital and some things I'll write in small case. Okay, so this is my string over here, and now if I say over here is what SW is equal to a new string over here, S dot swap case. Okay, an empty close, it's a function. So now if we check SW, it will be with the letters which were capital. It has become swap, the case has been swapped, so it has been converted to small, and the small alphabets are converted to what, capital over here. Okay, similarly we also have function called over here is find and replace. Okay, we have a function called find. So find we will make use of first. So we'll write, suppose we take a string over here is S is equal to something, we write over here is what, red apple, red ball, suppose I write, and red rose I write over here. So this is my string over here. Okay, and I write over here S dot find over here. Now find what? Okay, so whatever you want to search over here, we will give over here. So if I say find and I give over here the word as red, now it is going to give me the index wherever this substring it will find. It will give me the index over here. So if I just print over here, so the first initial position it gets a red over here is 0. So if I write something more over here, hi, and then I write the word red over here, and again I hit over here, suppose. So find is going to, the return type of find is basically int. So if I want to store over here, I will store in some, I can take a variable over here, index or something. So find method will give you the first occurrence wherever it is there, the position of that it will give me the start position. So if I hit now over here and I print the value of idx over here, so you will see it is the position it has given me is now 3 by 3, because the position of h is 0, I is 1, space is 2, and over here it is 3. So index find method is giving me the index of the first occurrence. Wherever it gets the first occurrence, it is returning me the first occurrence over here. Okay, now if this thing which I am searching, nothing is there, suppose I write the word over here blue, and blue present in this string over here? No, it's not present. So what it will return you over here is, it should return you -1 over here. So if the given string which you are looking for is not present in the string, then find function will return you -1, and if it is present, it will give you which occurrence over here is the first occurrence. Now suppose I want to get the second occurrence. So find function is used to find a string in the whole string. It will, whenever you write this way, it will always give you the first occurrence over here. If you want to find second occurrence or third occurrence over here, we also have a method called what, we can write this way, find, and if we give over here this way, now I give the word as red, and if I specify, we can specify the start position from where it should start searching. So we know now this, the position over here was 3. So instead of 3, now if I specify over here is 4. So I am telling now is search for this string red, and the start position over here is now what over here is 4. So if I run this, so you can see now it has given me 13 by 13. So if we just look up 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, and this red, this next red is the position is what, 13 over here. So find method, if you don't specify any index over here, by default it will always start from 0th index, and it will give you the first occurrence over here. If you want to find second, third occurrence, accordingly you need to specify the index from where it should start searching. So when you say 4, now it will search for red word from iske aage, fourth index ke aage, from this it will start searching off, and wherever it gets the first occurrence, that is this red, it will give you over here. Okay, so this is which function we have studied is find. Okay, similarly we also have a function called count. Okay, now I want to count that red word is present inside this string how many times. So I can say s dot count, and count what? Count which word over here is red. So if I can store the index over here, count over here, suppose I write over here is c is equal to, and I press print c over here. So shift enter. So you can see it has shown me what over here is 3. So count function is going to count over here, okay, and return you the number of occurrences present in the given string. Now suppose we give an example over here. Suppose I pass, instead of red I pass over here is blue. Now do we have blue in this? No. So let's see what it will give you is 0. So if the given string is present, it will count the number of occurrences over here and give you the count. And if it is not present, this function will return you what over here is 0. Okay, so count is used to count the number of occurrences. Find function is used to find the index or position of the given string, the first occurrence of the given string. So we can say index is used to find the first occurrence. If you don't specify anything, it will give you the first occurrence position, or first occurrence position, we can say occurrence position. Okay, and what this is going to do over here is count is going to give you number of occurrences, how many times the given string is present in the sentence over here. Okay, similarly we also have functions like is alpha, is digit, is alpha numeric, all these functions over here. So is lower, is upper, so all these functions are used basically. See, there are many functions in string, we can't complete all these functions. Actually, if you go over here and press tab, you can see these are the list of functions over here. There are many functions, so I will just take up the main functions which we require, but I'll just show you. There is lower and is upper. So in S what we have is, now it's a lowercase, so if I write S dot is lower, now from the name itself you can come to know that is lower function, all this is lower function or is upper, is alpha are going to return you a boolean parameter. So if the whole string is in lowercase, it will return you true. And if I check over here is upper, so this will give me what over here is, whether it is in uppercase or not. So now it is not in uppercase, so it has written over here is what, false over here. Now similarly, if you want to check if this whole string is in alphabet, contains alphabet or not, so we can use the method over here is alpha. So if it is alphabetical, it will return you true. If it's not alphabetical, so the target string should contain only alphabets, leaving alphabets if it contains anything. So if now you can see in S we have spaces and everything over here, so it's showing me this way. So if I have a string this way, just I'll give an example over here. So if I write something over here is this way, and then I write over here is dot is alpha, okay, and empty close over here. Now there is no space, so it will return you true. And if the same thing, if I put a space in between this way and then check is alpha is true, it will give you false. So is alpha means if the given string contains only alphabets, no special characters, no numbers, anything, it will return you what, true over here. And similarly, if it only contains digit, so you also have a function called what is digit. Okay, so you can check this function over here is digit. So is digit will check whether all the things which we have inside string, if they are digit, it will return you true, otherwise it will return you what over here is false. So now these are some functions which we have over here. Now one more function which I would like to tell you is strip. We have strip is going to remove all the things over here. Strip basically is like what to say, it will remove the leading and trailing spaces. So we also have a function called strip, 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 strip we have, R strip we have, L strip we have, these three functions. So R strip, L strip, all these functions, what they are going to do over here is they are going to remove. So if I write only strip, so if I have some string like this, I have some space over here, suppose this way, and then I write some alphabets over here, and then I have some space over here, and then I write the word strip over here. Strip means what? Strip basically means is it removes both leading means the spaces which we have over here, extra spaces, and the spaces which we have at end. The spaces which we have in between, it will not remove. So strip is going to remove both leading means आगे की तरफ जो है और end को है, it is going to remove over here. So if I just print over here, you can see the space which is over here, and here it is removed. And if I use over here is L strip, so it is just going to remove from left hand side whatever are the spaces over here. Okay, so it is just going to remove the leading spaces, and ये पीछे के जो we have or trailing spaces which we have, that is not removed. And if you use R trip, this spaces will be removed and this won't be. So R trip means it will remove the trailing spaces, L trip means it will remove the leading spaces, आगे की spaces, and strip means it is going to remove both from trailing and leading and trailing both spaces. But the spaces which we have in between, those are never removed by any strip function over here. Okay, then we also have a function called replace. So if you take this string over here, I have a word over here which we have already taken is S, hi, red, apple, red, and something over here. Now I want to replace this red with what? Rose. sorry, red with blue. So what I can do over here is I can write s dot replace. Now always one thing you remember, whenever we are using any function this way, replace, ltrip, it is always giving you a new copy over here, okay, and in that new copy all the red words will be replaced by what, this one, new word, okay. So I will tell over here replace red with what over here is blue. So now you can see is replace function is going to replace wherever it will find red word, it has replaced it with blue. But if you see s over here, it's unchanged, okay. One thing, because string is immutable, so replace, what it has done is it has created a new string. I'm not storing it. If I store it, so now if I check over here, you see this, if I check s, it is still hi red apple and the same thing it is showing me, but it has created a new string over here. Replace has created a new string over here where it has replaced the word red with blue, and that new string now I am storing it in s1. And now if I check s1 over here, you can see over here is it has changed the red word with what, blue over here, okay. Now similarly, if we want to do is, we have one more important function over here is joined. One more important function we have over here is split and joined. Now if this is my string over here, if just I write over here s, so we have a thing called split, okay. So if I write over here s dot split, okay, and I put empty close over here. Now let us check what it is giving us. It is giving us a list, okay, list of what, all the words separated over here. So this is basically a list, and in this list you can see the first word hi is at 0th position, then the red word. So the way it's giving you a list over here, and in this list each word is positioned in 0th position, 1 position, 2nd position, 3rd position accordingly. So split is used to split the given string into a list format. So if there is a sentence and you want to split it up, you can make use of split function over here, okay. So split function is basically what it does is it will split a string into a list of substrings. So it will split this string, okay, this string, it is going to split this string, this substrings which we have, hi, different words which we have, this it is going to put it inside a list. So a split function gives you in return a list over here, we can see. So what is split function doing is, split is basically splitting a string into a list of substrings, okay. And now one more thing we have over here is joined, okay. So what is the use of joined? Now if there is something and you want to form a string from that again, okay. So sometimes suppose there is we can say what we have, suppose this is the thing we have over here is now hi red, this is a list over here, and from this list what I want to do is I want to form a string again, okay. So if I want to form a string, what I can do over here is I put over here double quotes, okay, double quotes, and then I write over here is dot joined, and in joined I will pass, okay, I have not stored it. First of all I will store it over here, lst is equal to, so I'll just hit it over here. And then what happened, okay, I have not printed the list, okay, print lst. And now if I say joined over here this way, now what will happen over here is if I specify over here is suppose colon, okay, and if I hit this, now what it has done is it has converted this list which is of list of what strings, it has formed a single string over here. If you can look over here, and the separation character over here, this string has been joined by colon. So join, what it is doing to do is it is going to concat string from an iterable, okay, this is a iterable type of object. So it is going to, from this iterable, it is going to form a single string over here, and when it is joining, join means it is going to join, form a string together. What is the character by which you want to join? So if I specify over here is suppose plus, so what you will see over here is, now you will see is plus over here, and if I specify over here is nothing, so you will see it as a one string over here, the whole word. And if I specify over here is space, then you can see inside the string which is formed, this words which we have inside this list, this whole list is converted into a single string, but these individual words are separated what by what now over here, space. So join basically is used to concat string from a iterable. So you specify any iterable over here, it is going to convert it into string. And when it is doing concatenation, we specify that when it is concatenating, the string should be joined by what? Comma, space, और what? So between these two, see when it is joining, वो join करके एक नई string form कर रहा है. So in between this, what you want a space or you don't want anything. So if you don't put anything over here, it will be together over here. So just I showed you this way. Okay, if you put space over here, so the new string which is formed from this iterable, the in between those you will have spaces over here. If I specify comma over here, then accordingly you will have comma in between over here. So basically what we are trying to say over here is join is used to concat a string from a iterable, and whenever you call join, the separator whatever you specify over here, this string which is formed from the iterable will be separated either by comma or plus, or if you don't want anything you can write nothing over here, or you can specify a space over here. Okay, so join basically is used to do concatenation of string from a list. So if you have a list or if you have a tuple, and from that list or tuple if I want to form a string, उसके सारे elements का मुझे एक data बनाना है. Suppose I give one more example over here. If I have lst is equal to, suppose I have a list of numbers this way, 1 2 3 4, suppose I have, and now if I want to do what over here is, if I do over here is this way. Okay, and I put over here is, suppose nothing I put over here, and I write over here join. Okay, and I write over here lst now. So what you will see is 1 2 3 4, these whole numbers will be together. Okay, and okay, okay, so now what is the mistake we can see over here is basically is this, whenever you are doing concatenation operator, okay, join operator, it should be of string type. So if I write this way 1 comma 2 comma 3 over here, then only it can do see whenever you want to concatenate. First thing, now can I write this way over here is, I write high, and then I write over here is plus, and then I write over here 25. Can this be concatenated plus? Oh, see, plus is, we have learned that plus is a concatenation operator. So can this be concatenated? No, we can't do so, it will give you error. What is the error? Can only concatenate str, not integer to string. So whenever you are using plus operator over here, both the things over here should be of string type only, then only plus operator will do over here is what? Concatenation. Because in Java this is allowed, but in Python this is not allowed. Both the arguments before plus and after plus should be of string type, then only it will do what over here is concatenation. Same thing now over here also, join operator is doing what over here is concatenation. So if I don't put double quotes, it is taken as int, and now you're trying to concat int, which is not possible, so it's giving an error. So now if I do this way and now if I do this way, you will see it is concatenate. So always remember, whenever you are doing concatenation operator, both the operands should be of string type, then only concatenate, then only you can concatenate them. If one is string and one is number, this won't work out over here. So same thing with join operator also. So join is basically used to concat string, but concat how string? So we are concatenating the string from an iterable. So here you are passing an iterable over here, so that iterable could be tuple, it could be dict, or it could be anything. Okay, but whatever is the data inside this should be of which format? It should be of string format. If it is integer or other float, it will give you error, because see, concatenation will always work with strings only, so you have to convert it into strings. Now if I ask you, if I want to apply sorting logic, okay, if I want to apply sorting logic, so how you can apply sorting logic? Okay, so there is a ready-made function. So if I have over here is s is equal to, in double quotes, if I write over here is suppose Deepa, and suppose I write over here is suppose some other name over here is suppose Medha, and now if I apply press enter over here, and now we have a ready-made function in Python interpreter. The way we have length, the way we have type, id, similarly we have ready-made function in Python interpreter is sort, in which you can pass a iterable or sequence type of or iterable type of argument over here. So if I say sort, now it's giving me error over here because it's not sort, it is sorted. Okay, and now if I run over here, so you can see now what it has done is, it has sorted the data over here, whatever is the data Deepa and Medha, but what it has done is, it has converted it into a list. Okay, first of all the data has been converted into list over here, and each alphabet over here has been sorted accordingly. So if you take the whole word Deepa over here, Deepa Medha over here, the data, each character has been sorted. So first two occurrences we have A over here, then 2D over here, then this E over here. So whatever word you have over here, so there is a ready-made function called sorted in Python interpreter, which is going to sort your data over here. So now if I run and show you over here, so if this is my word Deepa, it has done sorting of alphabet, sorted it according to in ascending order it has done is, and by default it has done in ascending order, and you can see in return it has given you a list over here. And now if I want to convert of this list a string back, so what I want to do is if I ask you a question, write a Python program such that the given string should be rearranged in sorted order. So now what we can do over here is, whatever the sorted function is returning us, we can store it in a variable called lst, because it's a list basically. And now this, from this list, what we want is, we want to convert it into string. So we can say double quotes dot joined, and then we can say over here is lst. Now if we check over here, that string which we have got is appeared over here, reverse order, that's basically. So now this way you can make use of joined function, because sorted is doing sorting on your string, but after sorting it's giving you a list in return. So sorted function, this sorted which we have method over here, this is sorting your string, but in return it is giving you a list. So now what we are doing is, using join function, we are converting this list back to string, and the separator over here I have specified is nothing, so it's just together all the words are placed over here. So you can store this in new thing, or if you want over here, or the same reference variable, it's your choice, and accordingly you can print it over here. Okay, so we have over here is which method? Sorted. Okay, similarly if I want, what I want to do is, see, if I want to reverse the original string, okay, if I want to reverse, first way we have seen is, if this is the name over here Deepa, this way, if I want to reverse it, what we can do is, we can write over here is s colon colon -1, which will give you the reverse of Deepa. First thing is, yes. Now you one way is you can do this way. The next way, we have in Python interpreter a function called reversed. Okay, reversed, there is a function in Python interpreter reversed, and you pass whatever is the function over here. Now when I run this, it is going to give me a object of reverse type. Okay, so I'll store over here, or directly I can say I'll convert that object into list type. So when we move to list, you will understand actually what is list over here, and you can see again. So instead of Deepa, if I write something more over here, because this is reverse is also giving you same, and sorted is also. Okay, so what we can do over here is something more we can write over here is, suppose Python I write over here. Okay, so now if this is the string over here and I say reverse, so you can see Python reverse which we have got over here. So list is converting. See, what is reverse function doing is, actually it is reversing the string, but the this reverse function gives you an object which is of reverse type. So using this list function, list empty close, and passing over here, we are converting this reverse object into list type. And now once we get a list, if I want to form from this, again what I want to form from this is, again if I want to form a string, again the same thing, we are going to make use of join. So join is a function which will help us to convert always a iterable type of thing into this. So if I write this way now, and if I check reverse, now you can see Python reverse we are getting over here. So this is reverse of Python. So if this is the word over here, you can see NOHTYP. So this is a reverse thing over here. So in Python interpreter, you have got a ready-made method called sorted. We also have got a ready-made method called reversed. But the only thing is, sorted will give you a list. So we need to convert that list back to your string using join. Same way, reverse is also giving us a reverse object. So using list, we are converting into list. And once we have a list, we know how to convert it back to string. One more thing is, I would like to tell is, now if you take this logic over here, that is, if this is the word over here, I take Python. Okay, so if this is a string over here, okay, and now I want to sort this. So what I told you is, do sorted, and what you will pass over here is S. Now when you do sorted S, it is giving you a list over here. Okay, and now by default, if you see, the sorting is in which order over here is, it's in ascending. First we can see is H, N, O, P, T, Y. So now this sorted, if you want in descending order, if you want, see by default it is ascending. So if you want in descending order, what we can do over here is comma, and we have one what to say, parameter over here is key. Okay, so if I press over here this way, so you can see key is equal to, you can pass a function, and reverse is by default equals to what over here is false. So reverse is false. So if I say reverse means don't reverse it. So if I say over here is reverse is, instead of key we can pass a custom function, but I will write over here is reverse. We write the word reverse is equal to true. So now when we write reverse is equal to true, make T as capital over here in Python, true or false, T is capital, false, F is capital. So when I write reverse equal to true, means now I want in reverse order sorting. Reverse means descending order sorting. Now if you check, it has done in descending order over here. So if you don't pass this argument over here, by default it will do in ascending order. If you want in descending order, then we will write over here is reverse, and reverse is equal to, by default it is false. If you specify over here true, means now I want in descending order, and accordingly it will give you in which order over here is descending. Okay, so these are some functions over here. And one more if I would like to tell you is rjust and ljust. Okay, basically rjust and ljust are what it does is basically I'll just show you and then explain you. So if I write over here is s is equal to, suppose, Deepa, and down below if I write is s dot suppose I write over here is ljust. Okay, left justified, ljust over here left justified, and then I specify over here, what I'll specify over here is left justified. So I want this string to be left justified, and by default the number of characters I specify is 10, and the padding character I specify over here is suppose star. Okay, so now what does this mean is, this string will be left justified, and the width of this whatever string is should be 10. So if it is less than 10, then the padding this character will be padded in rest of the places. So means what, see, if you see I have written over here 10, so Deepa word is of 5 length, so it is left means it has gone to the left, and rest of the characters as I have specified over here 10, so rest of the characters you can see over here we have is 5 stars over here. Okay, similarly if we do this way, right justify, so instead of rjust if I write over here s dot rjust, okay, and then we can write over here is 10 comma and again star over here. Now we have left justified, right justified. Left means to the left of the screen, right not left of the screen but left justified, and now if I write over here right justified, so now we can see over here is here as we have specified 10, so it is showing it is occupying 10 character space over here. From the 10, first 5 characters are star over here, because length of Deepa is 5 characters and the rest are 5 we have over here is the actual string. So instead of 5, if I write over here 20, you can see now the width of your string will be 20 over here. So 15 characters will be star, and rest 5 characters, right, means from the right, on the right hand side we'll have our original string over here, that is whatever string we have specified. So whatever width we specify over here, if your string is of the original string, if it's not of that width, then this character will be padded accordingly over there. Okay, so this is rjust and ljust over here. So we'll see next when we move we'll do nested for and pattern programs, there we may use this ljust and rjust. So ljust is left justified, rjust is right justified. So if in a given string, if you want that the character, the width of this string is this much, if it is less than that, so this is the character which should be padded over here. So instead of star you can write anything over here. If I write over here plus, so you can see it will be plus over here, so we can put any character over here. Okay, so this is r justified and l justified. So there are many functions actually, is upper, center, many, but the main functions I have covered over here. Okay, so this is all about strings. So strings basically are immutable in nature. String can be specified in double quotes and single quotes. If it's a multi-line, then triple quotes, starting with triple quotes and ending with triple quotes, single or double, whatever you want. Then string, for string we have operators like plus and star. Plus will do concatenation, star will do is replication over there. Then we also have seen that for strings, for basically in Python we have negative indexing and positive indexing both. So to extract a single character, you can make use of positive index or you can make use of negative index. Negative index is always backward, it will start with -1, -2 and accordingly it will go. And positive index, it will start from in forward direction, it will go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 accordingly. Also, if you want to extract from a string a subpart, we can go for slicing. In slicing, we write the name or string variable name, square bracket, start, colon, end, colon and step over there, and accordingly we can do slicing over there. And also there are some built-in functions, many built-in functions inside string, like we have studied is upper, is lower, title, then swap case, then capitalize, then rjust, ljust, join, then we have is find, count. So many functions are there which we have looked up. So you can just go through all the functions, try out all the remaining functions also. So this is all about strings, everyone. So you can just practice the whole thing which we have done today. So practice this, and we'll stop over here. In the next session we'll see basically two pattern programs using string, how we can do pattern program using nested for and making use of string. And then we will see is tuple and set. Okay, so we'll stop over here. Thanks a lot everyone. Thank you.